All right, guys, welcome to the Galt Experience podcast show. I'm here with Griffin Klein and Lindsay Rounds. Lindsay has been with us for just over a decade, give or take.
Yeah.
And I would say Griffin is about 2.5 years with GIG. So what I wanted to do on this episode is talk to somebody that has literally started at the front position as a receptionist, which is Lindsay, and same with Griffin. Talk about their journey and then talk about some of the hurdles that they faced when they first started and then kind of got over, and then some of the hurdles you guys are facing now. So I'm going to start off talking about Lindsay. When Lindsay joined Galt Insurance, Mike Pinnan had interviewed her. She got the job. And Lindsay, why don't you take it from there? You were answering phones for us. What were you doing?
Yeah, front desk, greeting walk-ins, doing a lot of paper pushing for the agents at the time.
Right.
Checking carrier websites. Starting from the front desk and making my way to processing like a customer service rep would. I got my 440 pretty quickly the first time around. So I was just doing the CSR is what we called ourselves back then.
In the biz,
duties.
CSR, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I didn't get my 220 until 2018.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was
which is your agency license, for those of you that don't know, your agency license. So now she can now sell. And so you got into sales 2018.
Yep.
And then what were some of the hurdles from, okay, you had all this admin knowledge, which is huge because now you know what you're talking about.
Perfect place to start, honestly. Right? Everybody should start with the CSR roles,
Agreed.
The account manager roles, just to, well, for one, to know how it feels, but to see how things come back on the back end after you write the new business. That's the best way to learn.
Sure.
Through the mistakes, through front-end underwriting and the kickbacks, just knowing your way around that and knowing how to process your paperwork, that's all very important.
Yeah, what's been great with Lindsay's journey is, again, from her starting there to the now being one of our top producers at Galt Insurance and building her book of business and residuals and retention and building a team. You've done a lot in a very short period of time. If you really think about it, from a career standpoint, these things take time, but you've done it very well. And I would say in the past 5 years, you really went from you were going at a really good pace and then you just kind of took off. What was that choice or decision that you made 4 or 5 years ago that you're like, all right, I'm going to go for it now. I'm going to build my book of business. I'm going to get rid of that base salary. I'm going to grow this on my own. What clicked for you?
Well, us creating the teams in general was huge. It really allowed us agents to just focus on sales.
Yep.
So, really honing that process and creating that team. That was huge. From there, just keeping my book of business and getting those referrals within it. Obviously marketing is essential for sales, and that's something I am continuing to work on. I think that we can all improve on it, and it's something we always have to do in sales. So
and something that we spoke about in a previous conversation of the three of us that we were talking about earlier on is that what was really cool to see with Lindsay is, the evolution of her career. Lindsay had certain fears throughout her career that I saw her personally overcome, whether it was public speaking, getting in front of people, getting rid of the base salary, growing your own book of business. And what has been fun to watch is that you've been fearless through the whole time. You're just doing it. It's like, yes, am I afraid of what's behind door number 2? Yes, but then you still open the door and you ran right through it. And you've done that your entire career here at Galt Insurance. And I think for any of you younger agents or people that are on the admin side that are starting off, Lindsay's a great person to talk to. And how did she overcome some of these fears? Sometimes it's not going to be some fancy answer. The answer is she just did it. Right, Lindsay? I mean,
we've
you can tell me.
We've all done it
right
for the first time at some point.
Sure.
Yeah, so it just takes practice, and it's something I need to continue to practice. That public public speaking fear is real.
It's horrible. It's horrible. I have it bad too.
Yeah, I public speak and I
fun.
still don't like to do it. It's just, but it's like anything else, guys. It's like a muscle that you work over and over and over. And I think if you don't get those butterflies, you don't care. So the fact that you do get nervous, you're like, well, no, I do care about this. I want this to go well, and I want to represent myself and the company and my family and do a good job. So kudos to you. You've done very well with it.
Thanks.
It's getting really better. I love watching it all grow. And then you have someone like Griffin, you want to just tell him basically how we met and how you got to the point of, doing the admin to now you've been with us for 2.5 years. Now you're building your book of business.
Yeah. I mean, I, from the time I was 20 to 25, I jumped around kind of from job to job, and, I'm a big golfer, but did some real estate, worked for my mom, and worked a couple other random jobs, and none of it was long lived. But my wife nannied for Christian and Andrea's kids, and I had met them briefly here and there when we were in high school, and we weren't interested in really knowing each other than, oh, that's Jamie's boyfriend, and oh, that's the guy that Jamie nannies for. Yep. And then I had Christian on social media, and I saw that he was into golf, and he had joined my favorite golf course in the world, Talus Park. And my wife and I saw Christian out at dinner while we were out at dinner. And actually, funny enough, I was out to dinner with Clayton in 2022. I was out to dinner with Clayton and his now wife and Jamie. And I saw Christian and Andrea walk in, and my wife loves Christian and Andrea, but she's antisocial. So she saw them walk in, and immediately she's like, oh my God, it's the Galts. Oh my God. And I'm like, we're going to say hi. And I think the next day we golfed, and you kind of made the introduction into the idea of me entering the insurance world. And I remember going back and I talked to my parents about it, and I was like, I don't know. It's like a corporate office job. And then we had golfed again, and it took a couple months, and you had me come by the office, and I came by and I met everybody, and immediately I was like, this is actually really cool.
Yeah.
And I think the next week I met up with Mike, and then I started right up front as Mike's account manager, but I didn't know anything. I was just eager to learn, though. I think I spent about 30 hours of my 40 hours a week in Mike's office, just peppering him with questions and listening to him talk. And I always, would go to Lindsay when she was in, and Melanie and Kristen, and I jumped from team to team as account manager. One thing I learned pretty quick, at least in my first year here, was never get comfortable with your position and never get comfortable with your desk or your seat. I mean, I moved around. I think I've had 5 offices since I've been here, and I've been on, I think, every agent's team except for Ryan's. Thank God. Shout out Ryan. And but it's been a lot of fun, a lot of work. As everyone here knows, to learn insurance, it's a whole new language. And then it's a completely different life when you transfer from service into sales, which luckily I've been able to do. And I'm still learning. It was definitely premature by most veteran sales agents standards. I'm still an infant in the insurance world, but I've never really been afraid to fail at it, and I think that's why I am where I am. Like, I've just never been afraid to try or hop on the phone with somebody, even if I don't really know what I'm talking about. Sure, I'll take the call and I'll figure it out as I go.
Sure.
Not that I'm just freehanding everything I do. I feel like I have a good understanding of insurance, but
I think the gift that you have, Griffin, is being able to work the room. I think that's so important, especially when we're out marketing.
Sure.
Just knowing how to talk to people and work the room, to be likable, and to be real. I mean, that's so important in this business.
I'm real.
Yeah. I'll say this. The one thing that I would say that it was one of your greatest things since I met you, other than being able to work a room and read a room, is that you've always been very coachable. And I would say of the newer agents that I've ever in the history of this company, I think you and maybe a couple others, I think maybe Ryan when he was starting, and maybe Mike, but I think I was the hardest on you, saying, Griffin, no, you're messing that up. Do this, do that, do that. And you were coachable enough where you never really took it personal. You knew that where I was coming from. Or sometimes with newer agents, I'll get really hard on them and say, hey, listen, do this. And they're just like, oh my gosh, and I'm just like, all right, let me back up. But you were very coachable, and I think that has helped your growth. And we have a very similar relationship in golf, where I'll tell you, hey, listen, if I'm doing something wrong, I want to be coachable, and you tell me, and you'll be like, hey, Galt, you're doing this wrong. You're taking this a little too serious. You need to relax, or whatever you tell me, which I don't question it, and I think that helps. So for anyone that is, starting off, if you're on the admin side here in our company internally and or you're looking to join us, these are the people that I would talk to. I wouldn't necessarily come and talk to me. I can talk to you and tell you about the past 23 years and how we've grown the company, but I think sitting down and having a conversation with Griffin, who's been doing it for 2.5 years, and then Lindsay, that's been doing it for a decade plus, and saying, what were some of the hurdles you had? Like, what were those fears you had when you decided, hey, when Griffin decides to have his own book of business without a base, what are the concerns? Lindsay, do I wait 3 months? Should I have an emergency fund savings? Like, what are the concerns? Because if you can access these people, which we do have access to, it takes all the fear away. It takes the anxiety away. You've got the answers to the test right in front of you. And I think people like Griffin and Lindsay would be more than happy to help you with that. So
we have such, not sorry to interrupt, but we have such a great team. I think I credit my time here to everyone here. I mean, I've always looked for the opportunity to talk to Lindsay or pick up the phone, and I'll even call Melanie sometimes, or Ryan, or go see Mike or Sarah, even if it's something that I could look up or call an underwriter or figure out. Going and making the effort and taking the time to go talk to somebody here about it. Sometimes you pick up other things, or you get a deeper knowledge of what it is you're asking for. And that goes exactly. And that goes a long way. And sometimes Ryan will throw another thing in there that you didn't really think about. And you grow your relationship with the people here, which is super important because everyone's here to help each other. And we just have an awesome team. So take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to have somewhat of a thick skin to get into this business.
Yep.
You have to be willing to make mistakes and
Sure.
learn from it and just keep going.
Yeah.
What do we say? It's a marathon, not a race.
That's right. It's a marathon, not a race.
That's right.
So speaking on it being a marathon, Lindsay, what are some of the hurdles that you are now currently working on with yourself, with your team, whether it is production, marketing, organization? And before you answer that, what are some of the things that have been working really well for you recently? And then what are some of the things that you're like, all right, I really want us to work on this moving forward?
Right. I would say letting go of control.
That's a
and
big
letting
one.
my team do what they do best.
Right.
And our service team has learned from the best. I'm the best of the best.
Sure.
So you have to let go of that control, and I have learned to do that over time. And right now, I think we're juggling one of the biggest books of business right now as far as clients goes.
Go.
So keeping those clients on the book, making them happy, and leaving that to my service team.
Sure.
And then I would say the challenge is for me to go out and get the new clients by marketing, not just my book of business referral. I want
Right.
both. You need both.
Sure.
You can't get too comfortable relying on those referrals coming in from your book of business. So going out and getting new referrals is very important to build twice the speed.
I think you're at such an interesting part of your career, Lindsay, where you have built a really nice book of business and your clients and your team and everyone's rowing in the same direction. So now you do not necessarily need to go force yourself to go write everyone that calls in. You have
be a little pickier.
You have the advantage to be able to qualify your leads now. And when someone calls in, you can now farm and go to certain areas of like, okay, this is the clientele I want to look for.
Targeting
and if you don't write any business for the next 2 weeks, game's not over. You've built this book of business that now you can say, listen, maybe instead of writing 30 to 35 policies a month, maybe I just want to write 15.
Right.
But they're the 15 that I sat down with these people. I formed relationships with them. I know everything about their families, and maybe I've insured a house here in Naples and 2 others out of state. And that's the clientele. So I love seeing the part of your career that you're at now, because that's when it starts to get fun.
Right. It is a struggle at first, knowing what to let go of and what to prioritize. You do want to help everyone that calls, right? And we always want to make sure that the best things are being said about Galt Insurance Group online. Our reviews are huge.
Yep.
So, but to be able to let it go gracefully, with no one's feathers getting ruffled. I mean, that is an art. I mean, it is a sales art that
Absolutely.
you have to learn along the way. So I would say that's something I struggled with in the beginning that I have definitely honed in on. So yeah,
We've done a great
Here we
job
are.
with that. Same question to you, Griffin.
Yeah, I would say my biggest hurdle through life, but especially here in this role, is delivering bad news to clients. If I have good news to deliver, I'll wake up at the crack of dawn and be the first one to call you and tell you, hey, you're saving money. But I find myself procrastinating, calling that client and telling them that their roof shape got changed by underwriting and we can't change it back and now they owe $2,000. Or that they have a big increase and we don't have another option. It sucks, and no one wants to do that. But that is also an art that you have to learn through experience. I think I get it. Some people just don't care and they don't have a problem doing it. I hate when people are mad at me. So that's probably been my biggest hurdle, I would say, because I've realized too that people they're going to be mad for a second when you do deliver the bad news, but they're happier with you when you just rip the Band-Aid off and do it right away rather than wait 3 days and then tell them. So it's all a learning process, and I'm still an infant and we're getting better at it. Being next to Ryan and listening to him almost look forward to delivering bad news has been a blessing because I get to hear him do it almost every day, and he's just a master at it. So shout out to Ryan.
I remember when I was teaching him at the front desk.
Oh
when he
my
first came
gosh.
in.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
That's got to be crazy for both of you guys.
When Lindsay was at the front desk, Ryan Reynolds started at Galt Insurance with 2 other guys in
Ryan and Brian.
In a 10 by 10 office. 3 people in a 10 by 10 office, and Ryan Reynolds was the only technical commission-only agent ever to start this agency because I couldn't afford to give a base salary at the time. And I saw both of those guys go, and then Ryan was still there, and he's been one of our top producers for, 7, 8, 10 years now, consistently. And we were talking before this podcast that Ryan is really good at delivering good news, bad news, and all the above because he's just kind of like, hey, this is the news. It is what it is.
He's got the same demeanor either way.
Yeah, which I think is great. That's how his golf game is too. If
It's amazing. You wouldn't know at the end of a hole if he just did really great or if he just hit it in the water 4 times. You literally would have no idea. He's just sitting there with the same demeanor. Yeah. So shout out to Ryan. There's a lot to learn from that guy. And yeah, it's just a little different. I'm used to being a lone wolf for the last year, building my own book, and now we've got Clayton, who's doing a great job. But it's work getting somebody that's completely green up to speed and able to carry their own. So that's
you're basically saying Clayton's kind of in the way for now, right?
He's way in the way. I wish he never came here. No, yeah, exactly. But I understand because I was there 2 years ago, and I was that person for Mike, Melanie, Kristen, Sarah B. Everyone who went out of their way to help me for 3 hours a day. I mean, it's so I totally get it, and it's just part of the job, and I'm thankful for it. So shout out Clayton. You're going to be great.
Part of the process.
You won't always be in the way, Clayton.
It's a process.
What is something, Griffin, that you are working on for the rest of this year? I would say, we have about, I think, 2.5 months left till the end of 2025. What is something that you're working on that New Year's Eve, you're cheersing it up and you go, man, I'm really proud of myself because I accomplished X?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in growth mode, just trying to build my book, and I know what number I need to get to for my book to be at the place where it makes sense for me to jump off of that base salary and start collecting residual income. So if I could get there by the end of the year, I would be throwing a party and cheersing it up for sure. It's doable. It's not going to be easy.
What is something that you are not doing now that you should be doing to hit that?
Keeping my sales faucet wide open, marketing more, and I just honestly I could be working more hours. I mean, I really could be, and taking on more business. I've had a couple of big months this year, and last month was pretty big. So you have now this is I'm a year into being an agent, so now I have a bunch of renewals and I have people calling in that want to be rewritten. Yep. And, with Clayton still on the, coming up, and kind of handling that stuff myself. So you've got to basically write new business for clients that you already wrote last year that you're not, it's not new business.
Yeah.
So keeping that sales pipeline open though, and kind of just grinding through it, working more, marketing more, those are things that I absolutely could be doing, and it would propel me there faster.
Absolutely.
100%.
What I see with you, Griffin, and what I see with a lot of the newer agents, that the difference between some of the newer agents and maybe someone like Ryan is that Ryan has the ability to maybe take an hour conversation with a client and get it down to like 5 minutes, but not be rude about it. Just be matter of fact and hear the facts, but then also kind of still massage it where the client doesn't necessarily feel like you're telling them to pound sand, but there's still that. And sometimes as a newer agent, and as we're learning things, we talk more because we're just like, we really want you to like me. And I'm really happy that you brought this business with me, and I'm going to get paid one day, but I want to make sure. And it's just like, all right.
I spent 30 minutes on the phone with somebody the other day that I knew I wasn't going to write them.
So it's little things like that. That comes with reps.
And I do that once a week probably. Yeah, exactly. But again, it goes back to, I just want you to like me. Like, I need you to know how sorry I am that we can't help. And
right.
I don't want you to get off the phone with a bad taste in your mouth. And so it just comes with experience, right?
Yeah.
It does come with experience.
Absolutely.
Lindsay, what about you? What is something that in the next 2.5 months, New Year's Eve comes up and you look back and you go, those last 2.5 months, I got X done, and it's going to make you feel really good about yourself?
Just grinding with my continued education. There's a few goals I set in the beginning of the year that I want to get done. We get sidetracked with different things throughout the year, but picking a designation that I want to knock out in 2026 on top of getting my 215 license, and then picking a neighborhood and targeting it. I think I already know which neighborhood I want to target.
Sure.
Windermere.
Yeah.
That mobile home in Lehigh, that mobile home park in Lehigh.
No, nobody else has got
The
that.
mobile home park behind me. No. Windermere, if no one else has looked into it, older homes,
Awesome neighborhood.
pricier homes.
Sure.
So that's the idea. So getting with you, doing some meetings with my team and you to perfect the rest of what we're going to do for 2016, and just go all in.
Great, man.
Celebrate the new year.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing both of you guys do that, because I know you can. I think yours is Bay Colony too. So we got Bay Colony, we got Windermere, we got Talos, we got I think someone else is doing Miramar Lake. So yeah, focusing on those and looking into, you can go to those people's websites and see, are there any events there? Are there golf tournaments there? Are there
Me and
charities
Jewel
there?
went golfing there at Windermere. So
Okay.
I was telling her when we were
nice.
on the golf cart, I'm like, you know what? I bet the
I should
greens
insure
would
it, yeah.
be really nice in here.
Should
Yeah.
insure some of
Older
this
home.
stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and golf more.
and golf more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please do.
Well, listen, you guys, I like I said at the beginning of this conversation, it's been really cool to watch both of you grow. It's pretty awesome to have you guys both in here. I know this is like chapter 2 or 3 of like the company's history. It's still growing, but it's very exciting to see where you guys are at. I love seeing where Lindsay's at. I see where you're at, Griffin, and you're going to be where Lindsay's at soon. And then Lindsay, you're going to be closer to where Ryan's. Just the whole evolution of watching you guys' career is it makes me very excited to watch. And we got some new additions coming to that we've just had at GIG, and we have more on the way. So all excited things. So anything else you guys wanted to add to this?
No, I think
I'm coming for you, Ryan Reynolds.
All right.
I'm coming for you.
He's coming for you. All right, guys. Well, that was the Galt Experience. Hope you guys learned something from here, and have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if it recorded. I thought that was